Is it a $200 waste of money or a $200 look into the future of what the Switch 2 could be and what handheld gaming can actually be at an upscale level? What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Today I've been playing around with the PlayStation Portal, a device that I didn't hear a ton about. First, I was told that it was a huge waste of money. Then I thought it would be very expensive. It came in at a decent price. It got some solid early reviews. Hardly any stores in my area got it. They didn't get very many. Pre-orders were sold out. It doesn't look anything like I thought it would look for some reason. And it works freaking great. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. I've got a Nintendo Switch. I have one just like you. I've got an OLED, and let me tell you right off the bat, the Switch is just way better. The Switch is way better, but that's not what this is about. It's not about, is the Switch way better? Duh, the Switch is way better. The Switch costs more. The Switch has Nintendo first-party games. The Switch actually is a piece of hardware because the PlayStation Portal is a remote play device. The PlayStation Portal has no slot for games. The PlayStation Portal cannot exist without your PS5. The PlayStation Portal, though, is really sleek. It has a nice thin screen. The entire profile of the device looks ridiculous because of the way that they ergonomically made the controller kind of hide this thicker part, but then the screen itself is like, dude, it's just the screen. And it makes me wish that the Switch was a little more narrow. I will say that in all aspects, I think the PlayStation Portal is a better playing experience. Like, the controls feel great, although the sticks are, you might not realize it when you first grab it or see it, but the sticks are smaller than a PlayStation 5 DualSense controller sticks, but they feel fantastic. Like, this ergonomically, spreading your hands like this and having, you know, the two grips that are much more for hands as opposed to this, man, it makes me want Nintendo to really upgrade their stuff. I think one of the best ways the Switch 2 could set itself apart is by being like upscale luxury Switch, like top tier elite Switch, instead of just like, oh, the first Switch. Like, remember the DS Fat and then the DS Lite? Like, that was a huge difference. I think they could do that for the Switch and the Switch 2 if they kind of focus on making a more premium product, because the PlayStation Portal feels like a premium product until you realize that, oh, I can turn it on, but nothing happens until I connect to my PlayStation. Until I connect to my PlayStation 5, this device is absolutely useless. And I can, you know, do it pretty easily. It's got this nice Portal screen. Like, honestly, the presentation is really nifty. The volume and the speakers are great. The battery life seems strong. And again, the ergonomics are top tier. Plus, playing games on PlayStation Portal looks like playing games on your PS5, which makes me just so goo-goo-eyed for the future where Nintendo Switch 2 could have so much more power than the Switch. Because while I would wholeheartedly recommend the Switch over the PlayStation Portal, like I said, it's actually a console versus just a streaming device. You know, this looks freaking fantastic. When you have a good Wi-Fi signal, when it's working well, it looks out of this world. You are playing, you know, the games that you played on your PlayStation, and they look that good. This is probably a bad example because it's really dark. But you're seeing a ton of footage, and yeah, you'll get to see that it looks ridiculous. It looks insane. And me sitting here in my office with my TV and my PS5 out there, like, it's seamless. I don't notice any lag. There's a few, like, sometimes you'll get a graphical glitch, an audio glitch here or there, but when it's got a good internet connection, you don't feel like you're missing out or like you're losing anything. One little audio glitch to have this experience in the palm of your hands with the comfortability of the PlayStation controller right here. Vibration, a little bit of haptics, right? This nice screen. I mean, the screen is very, very nice. It's bigger than the Switch screen, and it feels it, it looks it, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. I really feel like it is just a brilliant screen. But it's not just a brilliant screen because of the screen tech, it's a brilliant screen because it's running games at such a nice resolution and such a nice graphical fidelity, because it's not actually running them, but it gives like this idea of what a more powerful Switch 2 could be. It gives the idea of like, okay, this is where we're headed. I've played Steam Deck, I've played ROG Ally, I know how those run, and this is the best of the bunch, both in terms of performance, in terms of look, and in terms of comfortability. Well, maybe not performance if you move into your laundry room, or maybe not performance if you go visit a relative, because as soon as I moved near my laundry room, it became unplayable. The lag was super bad, and this is within my house. My laundry room is just off the opposite end, beyond where I guess my router can reach. And that's where the limits of the PlayStation Portal come into full ugly glory. This thing can't do it without great Wi-Fi. First time I went to visit my mom's house, I couldn't get it to sync to my PlayStation. Second time I could, and it ran great. It was super nice. Got footage here of me playing in a different location, and you could do this at a coffee shop, your grandparents' house, the doctor's office, but you're gonna have to rely on a great connection. And if the great connection isn't working out, or you're not able to connect to an internet Wi-Fi signal that has strength and that, mind you, does not have any sort of internet browser interface, because the PlayStation Portal cannot access Wi-Fi with any sort of like accept screen or login screen. There's no browser on this thing to speak of. Like I said, it literally is just a streaming box, which is why $200 feels a lot. Otherwise, $200 would be sick as heck, because this is great to play on when it works. I will be using this 95% in my house, and as a second screen for my PlayStation, a way to play Spider-Man 2 in bed, a chance to make progress in Alan Wake 2 even when I'm feeling sleepy or when someone's watching a movie. Like, that is wonderful. But the Switch wins out because it actually works no matter what. No matter where you are, if I'm at grandma's house or I'm at the North Pole or I'm on a cruise, I've got my games, right? Like, I've got Mario Wonder right here, and you can't stop me from playing it. You can't, no matter what. I don't need a Wi-Fi signal. I don't need network connection. I don't need my PlayStation plugged in, taking a little bit of voltage. I can play it. And yes, the screen is way worse. And yes, well, not the screen, but the look, right? The on-screen picture is way worse. It doesn't... I booted up Hogwarts Legacy on the PlayStation 5, PlayStation Portal, and I booted up Hogwarts Legacy here. And like, while I am impressed with this port, it's night and freaking day. It's like I jumped forward 2 generations, but then I have to remind myself that the PlayStation Portal isn't actually a console. It is just an interface for me to play games off of my console. But I do love it. Like, I do think it's fantastic, and most importantly for its ergonomics. This is where I want to draw focus, because I think what they've done here is just so much significantly smarter than the Switch. I don't know over time if this is going to be lackluster in terms of durability. It feels durable right now, like there's nothing happening here. Everything feels good. The triggers are great. The buttons are awesome. The sticks are pretty dang great. Significantly better than buttons, sticks, triggers on a Switch. It does feel like maybe this eventually could break, snap, whereas we know Switches are kind of indestructible. But I'm not really like throwing this. It's not a boomerang, right? I'm 33 and I'm playing it, not an 8-year-old. And maybe that comes into play. But I love the way this feels. It is so much more comfortable than the Switch, and that's why I never actually play the Switch like the Switch. I play the Switch with a fixture and a Pro Controller. Like, this is how I play it. I don't ever actually play it with the Joy-Con. I just show it to you like this because this is how everyone knows the Switch, but I never play it like this. And I do think it's slightly problematic that the way that the system comes without any accessories or extra controllers is quite uncomfortable. Is it playable? Absolutely. Is it workable? Yeah. Am I being a little bit like first world problem? Yeah. But when I go from something like this, with its very rectangular structure, its very recessed sticks, its tiny buttons, its limited pull triggers, and then all of a sudden I'm like, dude, I got triggers where I can actually double clutch the triggers. I got buttons and a D-pad that feel like the buttons and D-pad on the Sony controller. I've got a big screen, and I feel like just the way my thumbs and fingers and everything are positioned, it's brilliant. You might see how these thumbsticks kind of go inside the screen. Doesn't affect anything. Never bothers me. They're within the bezel. They don't affect anything. But the bezel on this is really nice and dainty. The buttons are really strong. The charging port hides on the bottom here. It's never loud. It doesn't like blow out a bunch of air. All in all, like, this is just a wonderful piece of work that has a touchscreen. It has real buttons. It has the lights. It has the ability to play the latest and greatest exclusive PlayStation 5 games, except I need to have a PlayStation 5. So that just throws everything out the water, right? This thing doesn't become a comparable device. It doesn't become the same type of system. It's not a system. It's rather an accessory. It's an expensive accessory, maybe the most expensive accessory, save for a pro-grade fight stick. It is fantastic if you have the funds, but it's completely unnecessary. The Switch is different. The Switch is a full-on system that does it all. I just cannot wait till we get way closer to this with this. Because when this can do this, it's over. The PlayStation Portal is like fun as a PlayStation owner device, but when the Switch 2 drops, it's over. I don't think any of these portable computers or the PlayStation Portal stand a chance once Nintendo upgrades their hardware. But I hope that they upgrade their ergonomics. I hope they upgrade their comfortability. It's something that I'm not confident Nintendo will be able to do. And it's the biggest difference between the Portal and the Switch is that the Portal feels fantastic to play handheld. And it better because it literally does nothing else. But from the Switch standpoint, the Switch should definitely emphasize handheld play. Nintendo has had supreme success by making great handhelds in the past, and I think there are ways, numerous ways, to make Nintendo Switch 2 far better to play portably, handheld mode, than Pro Controller mode, tabletop mode, docked mode. Those are obviously way stronger, more comfortable ways to play the current Switch, and I don't think there's any reason, after seeing different devices make significant strides, that we can't find the best way. You know, you got the Steam Deck where the sticks are up high, and the Steam Deck is heavy, and the Steam Deck, you know, it's a pretty chunky system. It's got triggers where it does, the D-pad is tiny and up in the corner. The PlayStation Portal is the best of these because it's light, it's got great battery life, it's got a D-pad. From a strictly hands-on-the-controller experience, this is the king. But then I remind myself yet again, it can't actually play games, it's just streaming games. And if I'm somewhere where the Wi-Fi stinks, or if my signal chooses to go kersplat, it sucks. I had a number of instances where the signal just randomly worsened. I don't know why. I found disconnecting from my PlayStation 5 and reconnecting was something that helped, but it eventually went back again. I have no control or guarantee that my PlayStation Portal will work the way that I want it to work, and for a lot of you, that will be a complete deal breaker. Imagine if 1 out of every 10 times you picked up your Switch, it was blurry. Imagine if 1 out of every 20 times you picked up your Switch, it disconnected and you had to reboot. Imagine if 1 out of every 15 times you played your Switch, there was some input lag. When it works, the PlayStation Portal is great. When it doesn't work, I wonder how they got this product to market. It makes me actually wish that Sony would go ahead and just do a Switch. Just do a PlayStation Switch that maybe can still remote play your PS5 games, but then has the next generation of Vita games. Or do a PlayStation 5 remote play, but also allow you to have an eShop to download indie games and nostalgic titles. If this thing just did remote play PS5, but had some sort of interface, so I could download PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, I mean, PlayStation 4 would be sweet, but even just PS1, 2, and 3 and indie games, this is a whole different ballgame. Now I'm recommending the heck out of this because it has value when you don't have a great signal. It has value when you can't connect to your PlayStation. It has value when your dog trips the cord and you're on a vacation and now you can no longer access it. The Switch is a guarantee. The Switch is going to work. And the PlayStation is reliant on other pieces of technology, other pieces of electronics, and other scenarios and situations that sometimes you have zero control over. But man, if the PlayStation Portal is a window, a portal if you will, into the future of what the Switch 2 could be, I am more excited than ever before. I can't tell you how great it feels to play something with all the moody lighting and all the great graphical techniques of Alan Wake 2 in my hands, relaxing comfortably wherever I want to be. That is freaking awesome. And having that experience on Switch 2, although the PlayStation Portal will still be clearer, better because it's just streaming from the PlayStation 5 rather than trying to run it on its own with its own internal hardware. I understand that, but we've heard reports and we've seen rumors that the Switch 2 is running Matrix Awakens. It's looking really good. If we can get it 4K upscaled on there with ray tracing, I think it'll feel quite comparable. I think the Switch 2 is going to feel comparable to the PlayStation Portal, except the Switch 2 is actually a system and the PlayStation Portal is just that. A portal. Right now, the PlayStation Portal is very, very niche. It is specifically for those who already have a very expensive PlayStation 5, have a large games library, and for some reason want to play it elsewhere in their house. Maybe give it a go when they're out on the town and just enjoy it as a superfluous, extra fun piece of tech that's ultra comfortable. When it works, is fantastic to play and gives you a good future, a good look ahead into what the Switch 2 could be. But for all like reasonable purposes, the PlayStation Portal is very cool, but very unnecessary. And there's never a chance that I would recommend the Portal over like a Steam Deck, over a Switch, over a ROG Ally, even over a Switch Lite. A portable only Switch Lite still is a system. Can't say it enough. The PlayStation Portal is very weird. Because I have a PS5, it feels fantastic. If you don't, it literally does not work. Let me know your take in the comments down below. I find this fascinating. I'm going to mess around with it more. And I hope to goodness gracious that the Switch 2 comes out so we can have this type of experience with Switch. But now, my top wish for the next Nintendo console is ergonomics. It makes such a massive difference that the PlayStation Portal is so darn comfortable and great to play. It's why I will play it even if I have access to my PS5. Whereas if I have my PC, I'm not playing my Steam Deck, typically. And if I have a way to play Switch without the Joy-Con, I'm going to make it happen with a Pro Controller. But the PlayStation Portal is the first handheld that is so comfortable and so great as a handheld. I'm happy to experience my games just like this. Whether they're twitchy or not, it didn't matter. This is a great experience, and I'm personally glad that I got it. But let me know what you think. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, everybody, thanks again. Switch Force out.